episode 2 of Catch Up with Kai and Cowen. Hey guys, I'm Kai.
And this is Cowen.
And this is our podcast. So episode 1, we rambled quite a bit. Unfortunately for our listeners, that's probably going to be every episode. So strap in. Today, what should we talk about today? Today we're going to be talking about...
friendships, hey?
Yeah, I guess so. Friends. How about we talk about... start off with me and you.
Yeah.
When we first met... Do you remember when we first met?
I actually don't. My first memory of you was in English class. Because we were in English class together.
Yeah.
In grade 10.
Yeah.
But then I don't know who introduced you to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how I met you, but I just remember we were friends in grade 10. Mm-hmm. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Oh, okay.
I think I remember one of the first times we actually met. So one of the first times we met was just at like lockers, but I think that was after we had already like become acquaintances.
Yeah.
I think the very first time that you and I met was in the lunchroom.
Okay.
We had like a big table.
Yeah.
And I was friends with a guy, and he had a bunch of friends that were friends with you, because I think you all went to the same junior high.
Yeah.
And I was the odd one. I don't think all of you guys went to the same junior high.
No.
A lot of you went to the same junior high.
Yeah.
And then like some of you guys brought in new friends, and I was one of that new friend.
Oh,
And
I see.
I'm quite certain that was one of our first meetings.
Yeah.
And then after that, like I'd see you all the time in lockers, and like.
Do we have our lockers close to each other?
No, because I was in student council, bro.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I had my separate lockers with the rest of the student council guys.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Which is like so funny. As an aside, looking at me, I don't think anyone would guess that guy was in student council. That guy was an overachiever in high school.
Wait, why would you say that though?
I totally don't fit that bill, like at all. Like
You think so?
Yeah, not at all. Like visually, like how I look, how I act, how I talk to people. I don't think many people would guess that I was like tried to be very professional at a young age, considering how unprofessional I am now.
Oh, but then what's your image of a person who looks like someone who was part of student council when they're younger?
I guess how I was back then, I was like tucking in shirts into my pants and stuff like that, you know? Like,
yeah.
I would like wake up 2 hours before school and try to like look as nice as I possibly could.
Yeah.
Like I was like that deep into it, you know? I was min-maxing my, like cortisol maxing everything.
Yeah.
Probably not cortisol maxing, because that shit was stressful as fuck, thinking back.
Was it? Like back then? Like when you were young? It was that stressful?
No, I mean, you don't really notice it. You're just kind of going through the motions. Like, you're doing things because you know you have to do them, you know? Like,
yeah.
For example, like, I told myself I have to wake up early before school because I have to look nice before I get to school and stuff like that, you know?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, like, I wasn't... I was just like, I have to do this, so I'm going to do this.
But was it like, did you enjoy it though? Back then?
I think I did. I think I enjoyed being up there, if you know what I mean. Like, I thought
Like the prestige.
kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the not empty prestige though, the prestige of like being a top achiever,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Rather than like wanting to be that person, I wanted to have the glory of being that person.
Oh,
I guess,
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, it sounds like it was fulfilling at that point though, like back then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I discovered like my other passions.
Yeah.
Until I found out like I actually like stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started doing those things instead.
Yeah.
But that's my memory of how we met. And I was mentioning a little bit before we were on air about how we became close in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, like we were always friends in grade 10. Like I've known you for more than half my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we got closer, like more like in university and onwards.
Definitely.
Because once again, like you're at a different school for the bulk of high school.
Yeah.
And then you didn't go to the same university as me.
Yeah.
But then we just kind of chilled because we had the same friends and we always had the same friend group.
Yeah.
But then I feel like we got more closer towards the end of university when we were just chilling one-on-one because I would say like we have a really close friend group. Like we've all known each other for more than half our lives.
Yeah.
We've been to like really big moments of each other's lives, graduations, weddings, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then we always hang out in a group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like always the same people.
Yeah.
Always the same events. But and then when we chill, it's like it's definitely fun. I don't take it for granted. At least I hope not. Always a good time. But then, for me personally, whenever we're in a group setting, we don't talk about too much stuff. Like, for example, like we don't talk about our fears. We don't talk about what we're anxious about. We don't talk about our failures or career aspirations.
Yeah, it was kind of all brain rot.
Yeah.
Like we would go to the friend house.
Yeah.
We would chill, watch TV, have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Talk about nothing of substance, really.
Yeah.
Mostly about like, oh yeah, party this weekend. What happened at the last party?
Yeah.
You coming to this? You coming to this festival? We're planning this. You coming here? That kind of stuff.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I still like hanging out.
Yeah, me
but
too.
then, like, it's just like sometimes having those conversations I value as well. And it's not like I don't. It's not that I'm saying that I'm not at that closeness with these friends that I can't talk about these things, because I definitely can when I hang out with them one-on-one or maybe in a smaller group. But just like whenever it's a big group, like more than 5, that just doesn't happen.
For me, I remember around that time you and I started hanging out a lot, and it was like those days on weekends we would always go to like the friend house, a house that you and I actually lived in.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, just as a quick aside, so a couple of our friends, including Cowen, got a house together. In 2020, COVID around
2020, yeah,
something like
exactly,
that.
COVID, yeah.
Four guys, right?
Yeah,
got a pretty sweet deal on a house together.
That's pretty sick.
Place. Yeah. And then eventually Cohen moved out and Kai moved in, into that house, and then I was there for a little while. But yeah, and then I moved out as well. But basically that was kind of like our friend party house. That was like our regular place to hang out. But anyways, around the time that you and I started hanging out solo, like just like doing stuff, chilling.
Yeah.
I think I realized for me, I wanted, like I really enjoy, like you were saying, I really enjoyed hanging out with friends in a group.
Yeah.
But I also wanted more.
Yeah.
I didn't want just hangouts to be like that. I wanted that and something beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I remember like we were talking to each other. Like there'd be like days where it'd be like, hey, you going to the house? You want to go there, or you want to do something else? And those days be like, they're probably just gonna watch TV. Let's just go do something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, around that time, I noticed I wanted something different. Not something different, but I wanted more.
Yeah,
you know?
I get what you mean, and I wondered if it's like, is this like a universal experience in a group setting, or is it just our friend group? Because I guess like I don't have like a comparison just because. So I always wondered, maybe because in a group setting it's harder to have that conversation, but I don't know.
I guess someone just has to take that stuff, and maybe sometimes it feels awkward pushing a conversation in that direction, because I've had like serious talks now just with you.
Yeah.
But I've also had serious talks with you and another friend.
Yeah.
So I guess it's like, for me, for example, actually no, I kind of just say whatever the hell in group settings, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really hold back that much, but I think for a lot of people, it's probably kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, like, well, sometimes I think surely our other friends have the kinds of conversations you and I have with other people.
100%. Yeah.
Like it would be impossible to live without that.
Yeah, because like we have the big friend group.
Yeah.
But then if we hang out with like 3 of us, we still talk about like good stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like whenever it gets to like 5 or more, that gets lost. I don't know.
I feel like especially when there's like a TV in front of us.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's just things get deep. Nothing gets done at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's go into our friend group. How about when we were a bit younger, in our early 20s?
Yeah.
What were we like? I would say we had a pretty unique mix of quite studious kids. Yeah. All of us. Pretty much all. Yeah, I would say everyone. I think we were. All of us were studious. Every single one in our friend group is quite studious, academically inclined, and like hardworking, but a hell of a lot of partying. Yeah. Tons of partying. Yeah. Which, I don't regret it.
I had a blast.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned in the first episode, like high school I thought was an amazing experience. We were studious, but we also had like took the time to have fun.
Yeah.
I'm in the view that you should just get the most experience that you can get at that age and at that setting in your life.
Responsibly.
Responsibly, and which I think I did.
Yeah.
And I think our friend group was like a really good balance of that. Like everyone was like concerned about their grades whenever.
Yeah.
Like so we worked towards it, but at the same time we would like to have fun.
Yeah.
And then that I thought that balance was really good.
I feel the same way. Yeah, it was. I guess it made it easy to be friends with everyone because everyone had such similar drive at that point, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, big thing is that I think proximity is also a big thing. We live like pretty close to each other. Even now, we literally live like like 5-10 minutes away from each other, and that probably played a huge role as well. But yeah, I think I'm very grateful that we have this friend group that we grew up with towards our lives and throughout our lives.
So you mentioned proximity. Some of our friends have moved away. Some of our close friends have moved away. How do you find maintaining relationships with those friends that have moved away?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think it's effort from both sides for sure. If one side puts in the effort, the other side doesn't respond or reciprocate, I think it's really hard to keep that relationship up. So it's a two-way street. It's unfortunate because without proximity is such a huge thing to maintain a friendship. And then if that's gone and there's like a lack of effort on both sides, I think a friendship just kind of drifts apart, which is sad. Because I think for a friendship to work, like proximity is number one, the biggest thing. Like maybe stages in life, like whether that be age or career. I mean, if you have those two, like even if you don't have like similar interests, like you can still be friends. But the proximity thing is a big thing.
For me, I agree that proximity is a big thing, and communication is probably the most important thing. But interestingly, I've had a ton of friendships that I developed exclusively online. So I started playing online games at a pretty young age, around like 10 years old. And one of my oldest friends of my entire life is a guy that lives in America, in Massachusetts. And I met him when I was 10 and he was 11, online on a video game.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since. Never met him in real life.
Yeah.
But we used to talk on Skype together.
Yeah.
And like Discord, like phone calls, stuff like that. So yeah, I find distance definitely makes things hard. But if you can find if you find someone that's like really like you're really good friends, you can totally overcome that distance.
Yeah. Which comes down to the effort thing. Like it can't be just like one way. It has to be two-way to get that relationship going.
Do you have friends from older days that you were really close to that you've lost contact with, not due to like any negative bad events, just like drifted apart, time passed on?
Oh yeah, I've so many actually.
Yeah.
Which is sad because I feel like I was decently close with a lot of them back then. But I guess it was just, I wonder if it was just a difference in values.
Do you think so?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I literally just said that maybe that doesn't matter too much. But yeah, I don't know.
So speaking of values, I would say a lot of values are really shaped by people that are around you.
Yeah.
So in speaking to that, do you think that, since you mentioned values might have changed when people move away, do you think that's because they move away, they get with new friends, and that causes values to change?
Oh, so you're asking if people's values change when they move away? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think moving, people can change so much. Like their values, their perspectives, because the culture is different too, like wherever you move. And I think that's sometimes overlooked. But I think moving away, even to like a close city in proximity, can change your perspective and point of view pretty drastically. And whether or not that affects the friendship in a negative, positive way, I'm not too sure. But just whatever change it is, I think it definitely is there when you do move away. I was talking with my wife, and she finds it so bizarre that we have this friend group that we talk every single day since like high school, like over the past 15 years. Yeah.
And she doesn't do that?
I mean, she does, but not every day though. Not to the degree that we do, and I mean, and not to the degree that we hang out, because we hang out like like every week.
Yeah.
Like since high school, like literally every week.
Yeah.
And then I thought that was the norm, but apparently that's not the norm.
I don't think it's the norm.
Yeah.
Because we have a big group of, like, it's like more than 10 guys.
Yeah.
And this friend group has been pretty much standing strong, unchanging since high school. Like for the majority of the group, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's actually pretty rare. I think people usually have like their closest friends that's like by the time they get to our, I mean, I could be talking out of my ass because I only know like what our experience is. Don't really know too much about other people's experiences, but I think for the most part people when they get to our age, they have quite a condensed friend group, and like the people that they regularly interact with, the friends they regularly interact with, it's a short list of like maybe like 3-5 people or something like that. So I think us having this like big friend group is quite rare, and I must say a big part of that is probably because so many people in our friend group have actively made efforts to like keep it going consistently, you know?
Yeah, that and I also think it's because of proximity and once again like the same stage of life. Like I think most of us, most if not all, literally have strived for like a professional position, and we're all like kind of in that grind period, or we were in that grind period, like same mindset, same values, at least in a career perspective, and that also helped quite a bit. Another thing is that I feel like in university, like I mentioned before in our first episode, is that because the classes are just so big and Canadian university experience is so different from the American one, especially if you're not living in a dorm, you don't have an opportunity to make too many friends in university. So I feel like we just hang out by ourselves, like high school friends, and we just keep on hanging out with ourselves.
Actually, yeah, that's a great point, because I remember when you guys went to university, I don't really think you guys introduced very many new friends.
Yeah, not at all.
Group. And even after that, after university was over, we didn't really meet new people. But then even after that, the only new people that we really met was like people in the friend group has as like coworkers. You know, it was never really people that were found in university.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that also played a role, and I'm really grateful for it. The fact that we continue to remain this close and we're able to literally watch each other grow up, mature, like get our goal, like achieve our goals as we strive for. Hope it stays that way, but yeah,
I'm sure it will.
Yeah,
when you make it, I feel like when you make it this far, like I've talked a lot to you about moving away, and I'm sure I will at some point. And even after I do that, I don't think my relationship with any of you guys is gonna suffer. Yeah, I mean, like a couple of our friends are already moved away, and like we're still really close with them. They have changed though, some of them.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts on our friend group. So last episode, we kind of talked about our backgrounds. I spent a good amount of time talking about like YouTube with Beyblade and music. You briefly mentioned about League of Legends.
I did.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask you, because I know nothing about League of Legends. Like the game itself, like the mechanics, I don't even know like the game format. So I wanted to ask you, like, how was your career in League of Legends? Like what type of opportunities did you have? Any regrets, anything that you wanted to achieve further? Because I know bits and pieces, but not really the full story.
So the full story is a massive story. We're talking like 17 books. I've lived like 3 lifetimes chasing this dream, basically.
Sorry, what was that dream again?
So the dream for me was becoming a professional player and one day being a world champion. That was my dream. And that started when I was, I think, 17 years old. Before that, I wasn't really thinking about it. You know what's funny? I started playing this game exclusively to make friends.
I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, because as I mentioned in the last episode, once I went to high school, I had no friends. All my friends were at another school.
Right.
And once I came to this school, everyone played this game.
Yeah.
And like the guy that I was sitting right next to in the very first class of the day, he was talking about this game.
Yeah.
And I had played it a little bit up until that point, but then I started talking to him, and found out like everyone plays this game. There's like a huge friend group, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, this is how I'll make friends.
Yeah.
So that's how I started playing that game, league, and yeah, it led to me making some friends, or a good amount of friends in high school, and then once I moved to the other school, some stuff happened, and I basically just really focused on playing League, and I got really good at it.
Yeah, you mentioned last time, like you were making money off this in high school.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
So I guess first I'll explain what League of Legends is. So it's a video game, a computer game. At the time, this was like well, I guess even now it's the biggest game in the world.
Yeah.
I think maybe not, but at the time it was the biggest game in the world, and everyone played it. And I got really good at it, and the way I started making money doing this was something called boosting.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. So boosting is when someone would pay me to play for them to get them to as high a rank as I could. So that's how I was making money, and I was making really good money for a really long time. That was not my dream, you know. Mm-hmm. Boosting wasn't my dream. My ultimate dream was to try to play professionally.
Right.
So while I was doing this money thing, I was still trying to focus on getting my name out there for pro teams to see, try to get tryouts, basically try to get noticed, scouted, and play professionally.
Yeah. I guess to interject, like how difficult is it or was it to go pro?
Very difficult, because there's only in the professional league. There's a professional league in North America, one in Europe, a couple in Asia. The one that I was trying to get into was the North American League, and in that league there are 10 teams with 5 players per team, so 50 spots in North America.
Yeah,
which is quite small.
Yeah. But you were up there though, hey? Like
I was, yeah. I was very good, very good, and unfortunately, I think this is probably common in sports in general. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to get noticed, and it's a lot about being at the right place at the right time, mm-hmm. and having connections, things like that. So very difficult to actually break into the scene. And I tried for quite a while. I got a fair amount of tryouts, and ultimately it never worked out. There were some things where I wasn't... There were a lot of risks that I ended up not taking.
What were the risks?
The risks were... So, as I mentioned earlier, there's a league in all of the major regions, like North America, Europe, Asia.
Right, yeah.
There's also smaller leagues in smaller regions. For example, in Mexico, Latin America, Brazil, Australia, Turkey. All these places have their own professional league that's not as big as, North America and Europe, but they're still like a good way to get into the scene.
Yeah.
And I actually had quite a few offers to try out for teams for those smaller regions.
Yeah.
But I never took those offers.
Why not?
I didn't take those because for a couple of reasons, actually. First of all, it's quite scary. Because these weren't this wasn't a thing where you play, I play in my room and try out and practice whatever from the comfort of my home. To play professionally in these leagues, I would have to move to that country.
Yeah.
And this is something that I was pretty scared to do.
Yeah, that's fair though.
Yeah, especially because things like moving to Mexico or Brazil.
Yeah.
At 17, not knowing if it was super legitimate. Because back then, this was around 2015, 2016. So 10 years ago. Yeah. I didn't know if it was what if I say yes, I show up, go to the airport, fly down to Mexico, and get kidnapped. What if this is not real,
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty valid fear and concern, yeah.
That was one of my concerns. Another concern was that I wanted to play in North America, I thought my only path to getting to where I wanted to be, which was the World Championship, I thought I could only do that if I stay here. I thought if I went to somewhere like Australia or Mexico or Brazil, I thought I would just be stuck there playing in minor leagues with no eyes on me for super long, and I thought I would never get a chance. And that is one of my regrets.
Not taking that chance.
Yes. Most of my regrets are very similar to that. It's not taking the risk, not being brave enough to just try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I would change. I would go back and take one of those offers, especially because I had offers to, I mentioned being scared to go down to like Mexico or Brazil or Latin America or Turkey, but could have just gone to Australia.
Yeah.
It's not like that would have been that scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't scared to go to a place like Australia, but the problem with going to Australia was I thought I would just be stuck playing in minor leagues there, never really get noticed by like a big team in North America or Europe or Asia, and I thought I would be condemning my career to something smaller than I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I didn't take those offers. But yeah, breaking into the scene is incredibly difficult. I'm gonna toot my own horn for a little bit, but it's hard to communicate exactly how difficult it was without doing this. So I was super good, like one of the best in North America at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Quite hardworking. Played against tons of. This doesn't really mean much because tons of people have done this, but played against tons of pros before, played in tournaments before, done super well, but just never was able to get in with the in crowd.
Yeah.
Like the people that are on teams, the people that are agents, managers, people that are solidly in the scene. I wasn't able to make those kinds of connections until much later, where I did meet. I think I was mentioning to you at the time that this happened. I had become friends with quite a big team owner in North America.
Yeah.
And I was super optimistic at that time.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this is it. This is. And that's when I felt super validated in not taking those like offers to other places before.
Mm-hmm.
That I was telling myself like this is why I didn't take those offers, because this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So felt super happy at that time and went through the tryout process and unfortunately didn't make it. Maybe I wasn't good enough at that point. Maybe they had someone else in mind already.
Yeah.
But yeah, found it incredibly difficult to break into the professional scene.
Do you think it was like, for the most part, when you had challenges like being recognized in the field, you think it came really more down to luck?
Some of it is definitely luck. I try to think about that as little as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. I feel like the way I approach it is I always feel like I could do more. Mm-hmm. Because I believe that I'm capable. So yeah. Even now when I look back and I think, I had like some failures, on the bad days I'll say I got unlucky, and those days are when I'm giving up. But on the right days where I'm in the right mindset, I can tell myself that I didn't work hard enough and I can work harder. And I find that personally to be empowering and motivating. Mm-hmm. Even though I had the failure, as long as I say that I failed there because of my shortcomings rather than external factors, that can keep me going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember I went to that music festival and then you were having a tryout and you came all the way to pick me up.
Oh my, okay, right. So little story time, I guess. Yeah. Was when you guys, so around those times, wow, I was really grinding. Like I
remember, yeah.
I was really going at it, like practicing. Like it really feels like another life. I think I told you before. It feels like I was like another guy at that stage, at that point in life.
Yeah.
I was just so focused and going so hard at it. Always giving up other things that I wanted to do. Like I mentioned, like the stuff, all these other projects I'm doing now with like YouTube and like fireflies in my backyard. Mm-hmm. I'm sure like if I had given myself some time to slow down and think and pay attention to other things, I think I would have wanted to do those like YouTube and fireflies and whatever, volleyball, even back then. But I was just so focused, trying so hard. I was like super convinced that this was like my calling.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that quite often. Mm-hmm. Now looking back at it, like that calling you mentioned here and there, like, do you still stand by it?
Yes and no. I think yes, but I'm not on that path anymore. It's just so complicated, I guess. How about you? Do you feel like you have a calling right now? Like, are you doing something that you feel like you were born to do?
Well, For me, it's a little different because I personally never had that
You've never
that
felt
gut
that way.
feeling. Yeah, like even with music, like I say it's a passion. I mean, I think it's a passion, but like I'm not like obsessed. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And for me, in my mind, it's like to achieve it something that great, it needs to come with some obsession.
Mm-hmm.
The professional position I'm in right now, like that too. I mean, in a way, I was obsessed because I just put in so much work towards it, right? Like from high school up until now. So I think that's the reason why I was able to get where I am today. But I want to say that was my calling. So I've actually never had that gut feeling or sensation that, oh, I was destined to do this.
Yeah.
This is me. This is my stuff. It's more like, oh, I think this is what I like, so I'll go for it. And I got decently good at it. That's like kind of my experience with some of these things. Yeah.
For me, it was exactly like you just said. It was like I would wake up every single day, and the first thing I thought about was that trying to go pro, trying to win a world championship. It wasn't like I was just like, oh, I want to go pro. I remember my goal was specifically to be a world champion. I would tell myself I'm gonna be a world champion someday.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I gotta say, it's so hard to say I was born to do that when I'm not doing that anymore. You know. Because that's kind of like going against. I'm like criticizing myself so hard by saying that. But I will say, at that time, I felt that super strongly, and I was happy I felt that way. I was comfortable I felt that way, and it was like validating. You know, it was like I felt like I was on the right path, and I was. Like I was successful to some extent. Maybe not completely successful in the end, but you know, while I was doing it, while I was making money, while I was playing well, I felt the whole time like, yeah, this is my calling.
Yeah.
This is what I was born to do.
But like, I guess that's the thing though. Like technically, you can't say, "Oh, I was born to do this." It's almost like you find that that passion, and then you get obsessed with it, and then you get the thought that okay, I was destined to do this. But I never had that experience. I don't think. I like to think like it just doesn't come handed to you. Like you gotta find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the time when we had a festival coming up. There's this big festival that we go to. We used to go to every single summer.
Yeah.
Relatively close to us, and we were all going. But then I got a tryout offer. That was basically just around the time of the festival. I had a tryout was it the first day or the last day? Something like that. I think
it was the last day.
Something like, I think it was the last day. So I had to do a tryout, and then when you guys went there, you guys took up a couple cars, and on the way back, you were short a car.
Yeah.
So then this is kind of insane for me to do.
Yeah, it is insane.
But I guess I just didn't want you guys to be stranded.
Yeah.
So I drove all the way from our home city to another city to pick up you and one of our friends, and then drive back, zoom in on the highway to back to our city, because I'm pretty sure I had to do another tryout when we got home, right? Because remember, we got back. You guys came to my house, and then I kicked you out because I was like, I gotta get back to work, guys.
Well, I don't know. I remember meeting your dog for the first time.
Yeah.
When you had, it was a puppy back then.
Yeah, it was a puppy back then.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's got a little lump on his chest, and now he needs surgery.
Damn.
Yeah, I just found out recently, but he'll be okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you and one of our friends met my puppy for the first time that day, and then I'm pretty sure I told you guys that that you could like chill here, but I gotta go upstairs because I gotta get back to work.
Yeah, I think that's how it went down.
Yeah, so I was super focused back then.
Yeah. That's crazy though. Like props to you to like driving all the way and then just driving back.
Yeah, I think it was because, like, I mean, a lot went into that. You guys were my friends. I didn't want to leave you stranded. And it was like, I initially agreed to come, but then I backed out for this.
Yeah.
It's like, I felt like it was, like, the right thing to do. And I'm sure you remember the one funny story with me and you sitting in the front and our our friend laying down across the backseat of my car. And So you guys had just gone to a 2-day festival.
Yeah.
Had your ears blasted by EDM music.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I was just chilling at home, you know?
Yeah.
I was completely sober, kind of stressed from like all these tryouts, and doing like 5 hours of driving or something, and like going back, and I put on some EDM music, you know, make the time go by faster.
Yeah.
And our poor friend laying in the back was like, his head's like banging, he's tired, and he asks to put on some K-pop music.
Yeah, but he was bleeding from the...
Yeah, and to be honest, I wasn't even thinking, you know,
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking that you guys had just had like your heads were probably hurting.
Yeah.
You just went to like some crazy concerts.
Yeah.
And I was just like, nah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, because it was actually, this is like a long time ago, right? This was probably like 9 years ago.
Uh-huh.
This is before Illenium blew up, and you were playing Illenium because
Oh,
you really
was
liked
I?
it. Yeah.
But you knew Illenium at that point, sure?
No, that was my first time with the Illenium.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I played his whole album.
Yeah, I forgot which album. It was one of his remix albums, I think.
Yes, it was one of his remix albums.
Yeah, but then I remember because I think he was there, and
Oh, really?
he was at the second stage, like not even main stage.
So you guys didn't even see him?
No, we didn't know who he was.
Wow.
And you're just blasting Illenium like before he popped off.
What, after that, did you start listening to Illenium?
No, not even.
So you didn't even think it was good then?
No, I didn't think it was good. But then like back, I wasn't into like the music that much.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like fun to go to those festivals, but after that I got
Was this
into
album?
it. Yeah.
Ashes remix.
Ashes, good album.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I think I played like all of these songs, and they're remixes, so a lot of them are like quite boomy. You know,
yeah.
They go quite intense.
It's so funny. Our friend was just like bleeding back there. His poor ears. Are just
I mean, yeah, I wasn't thinking at all. That's definitely my bad.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like, oh, how do I make this car ride just go by faster?
Yeah.
That's all I was really thinking about.
Poor man. We just wanted some K-pop.
Yeah, I regret that. I probably should. I mean, funny moment, but I'm sure he felt bad about it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
all
Kobe.
good. Yeah. Honestly, I think that's it for today.
Oh yeah.
We talked a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I feel like our structure's not too bad. Like we have a few topics, we delve into it.
Yeah.
They're kind of relevant here and there.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of doing this like buck wild, not really knowing what we're doing, you know. But we'll get better at this for sure.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. Just talk about random things. I like talking about the past. I think it's pretty fun to talk about our memories. But yeah, otherwise we'll try to make this a weekly thing.
Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you're enjoying getting to know us a little bit, and hopefully you can get to know us a little bit more in the next episode. Sweet. It's been Catch Up with Kai and Cowen.
There we go.
See you later.
Peace.